Hello, and welcome back to the Coop De Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Tommy Lazaridis, and we're here to discuss Tottenham Hotspur versus Aston Villa from back on Sunday night. What a great win! What an amazing couple of goals, and we're back up to sort of mid-table, right in touch with all the European places, and the bad season. The bad start to the season is officially over. We're back on track, and we'll be discussing all of that and much more after this. And yes, welcome back to another week of Coop De Villa Live. I'm here with Tommy. Noah's sick this week, so he's not joining us. Hopefully, he'll be in the chat somewhere a bit later on. But I hope you're feeling better, Noah. But Tommy, what a game! Insane match. One that I wasn't really sure what we'd get after the international break. There was a few changes. Ollie Watkins was on the bench. He had a bit of a knock. Marlon got another start after his 2 goals against Burnley. We started the game off badly, conceded early, could have conceded another. There was an offside goal there as well. But the way that we kind of rallied in that second half and the subs by Unai just turned the game, and we ended up just having a huge victory.
Yeah, I think even just to get the goal before halftime, Scott, was obviously, big sigh of relief, and I'll touch on the second half shortly, but, not easy going to White Hart Lane and getting points these days. I think Spurs are a very well-drilled side under Thomas Frank in a very disciplined football. Paulinho was, I think, their best player, but yeah, again, I think it's how you bounce back. I think there was some, I just think the goal that they scored was quite sloppy from us, and a lot of plays in the box, silly passes, just moments of stupidity. You get punished, unfortunately, but that's football. But it is about how you retaliate. I was surprised to see Ollie on the bench, but that being said, I was ecstatic to see Marlon starting. So two minds, but yeah, I mean, it was a great start to the first half, and go out and close it. I think Emmy's just, he's on one of those redemption arcs, to be honest. And I think we're seeing prime Emmy Buendia right now. Not easy to go, was it knee, right? Major knee injury, and then out of the squad, and then, bouncing in and out. Leeds were maybe going to sign him, and I thought 20 mil was probably good at the start of the season. Now I'm actually buzzing that we've retained him, and I think we're just, the squad's playing well. Cash has just become a superstar. We'll touch on all of the others, but absolutely buzzing, mate. I mean, I'm eating a whole humble pie, not just a slice, because I may have made some comments about Emery a couple of weeks ago. I will also say I think I am the catalyst behind all the winning. We hadn't won until Bologna, which was the game I attended. So we'll take credit for that.
You've turned it all around, Tommy. Ever since you were there, we've won every game, so it's been fantastic. I agree with you. I think Spurs are a very good team, and they're going to they're under Frank, they've got that new kind of professionalism, organization, and they're dangerous on the set pieces where we conceded. Unai Emery as well knows what he's doing, and I think he knew that if he kept Ollie Watkins back, he could be lethal in that sort of second half, in that last half an hour. And Emmy Buendia, like you said, what a story, really. I mean, he looked like he was absolutely done, 6 months ago, a year ago, when he came back from that injury. He was not quite the same, and he went on loan to Bayer Leverkusen and, scored a couple of goals there, but never really lit it up. But without his contributions this season, we would be in deep shit, really. He's been crucial, 3 goals. It just gives us a bit of quality around the box and in the midfield that maybe we lost with some of the players that we've had to sell, like Leon Bailey and Diaby and sort of some of the guys, that were kind of creative for us and, could get a goal out of nothing. He did that. And that goal, I mean, we might as well talk about it now because it is the moment of the match. And there's three just amazing bits of skill in the goal. One, Matty Cash's pass, Digne's control and little flick, and then the finish from Buendia. And, I'm not really sure which one was the best. Like, I keep going back and forth as to which is the most brilliant bit of play because all three of them are exceptional.
I agree. I think we give them all equal credit. I'll probably give it to Cash only because he got man of the match, but I don't think it was particularly for that moment. And to be honest, if that was any other team, Scott, that'd still be making the headlines. It's like that bloody Arsenal one they've been replaying for the last decade and a half. If there was any other team, that'd be on replay all week. It'd be goal of the year and best build-up combo. And to be honest, look, these are good players. They're not world beaters. So the fact that they could pull it off, right, I think deserves a lot more credit than it is. This is not, Beckenbauer, Mbappe, and R9, right? This is just three Villa players and three servants to the club, right? Probably not our top three players either. And just three players that put a shift in. Just they all deserve their individual pieces of credit. I think Digne for obviously keeping Maatsen, who we shelled big money out on, an absolute warrior after I saw the cut gash on his ankle. And I mean, we'll probably touch on that later. Controversy, he went and had a go at some of the Spurs folks. Cashy's been under fire last season. I actually think he has improved quite a lot this year. So again, happy to eat another slice of humble pie or a second one. And and I mean, Emmy, just the redemption arc. And if anyone want to score, it's him. Probably would have been equally as happy if Ollie scored, just to help really lift some of the weight on his shoulders. And while we're there, I'll transition into Ollie. I think when he came on, an absolute menace and some great runs. He probably could have scored that goal. I think it was just a little bit too unselfish. It was a bit more selfish and clinical. I think he should have put it away and just bagged it 3-1. We just see it out. But yeah, just unreal. Just everyone played their part. I know Umar came out. Emi Buendia's post-game post-match interview was just full of praise for the team and really is a team effort. Seeing Onana play out almost all the game. Booba is Booba. I mean, I don't really say much else about him. And I thought Donny could have put us up 2-1, right? Or was it? Yeah, I think Donny could have put 2-1 with that left foot shot. And I really think him and Ollie will play together. I think it's just kind of slowly molding him in. I don't think it's a Rashford-Ollie scenario again. I think both of them look great.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, there's so many guys that sort of go under the radar every week, and it was good to see that three of them were all involved in that goal. Like, Cash, Digne. I thought Digne defended well against Kudos, who was probably Spurs' best player on the day or one of their more attacking threats. And I thought he got beaten once or twice, but he also stuck with him to the best of his ability. And I think that was probably just a good battle, those two. And Spurs, when they went ahead, it was looking at times like they might score 2 or 3, but we sort of stuck at it. And even though in the first half I felt we're not playing great, like we were competing, we were fighting, we weren't dropping our heads, and we were staying in the game because everyone knows that's played the game. At 1-0, anything can happen. You can get a goal and the game can change. So all you need to do is just make sure that second and third don't go in, and then the game's done and dusted. And that's what we did. And Morgan Rogers scores a goal out of nothing. Great goal, unbelievable strike. Just underneath the crossbar, dipping. Vicario, some people saying he might have saved it, but I don't think anyone's saving that just because the way that he gets the dip. I mean, it hits the back of the net halfway up. It's got so much dip. It just goes under the bar and it's still going down. He's a guy that needed a goal, and I think he's been a bit of a frustrated character in the first few weeks of the season, and he's been playing well for England, and it's not really been happening for Villa, but he gets a couple of assists, one against Fulham in the last match, and now he's taken his game to another level where he scores a goal and gets us back in the game. And from that point on, I think he relaxed and he looked a lot happier, and it was great to see him like leading the celebrations with Emi Buendia when he scored the goal. He was jumping on his back, and
Yeah.
you can tell that that goal just like settled his nerves, and I think we're going to see a much better Morgan Rogers going forward, which is great. It's great for everyone. There was so many moments in this game. You said like the injury to Digne, the Danso like goes through his ankle, and I was actually thinking about that because Danso actually gets the ball, right? So like it's not a foul, but the follow through is so dangerous and so high that could you see like a situation where it's not a foul, but it's a red card? Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's not a penalty because he gets the ball first, but
I think how hard you. Yeah. Sorry, Scott. Because I think it's how hard you go in, right? You probably don't need to go. You don't need to go studs up and clean Digne up, right? It's just a good old hoof for the ball. The way that you go in, I think, has to be looked at. Like if you're putting your full body behind a slide tackle and take out someone's legs, like has to be looked at. Didn't Tim Cahill get done for that years ago? He's like, I've
seen some where like they do get the ball and they still get a card or whatever, but this was one where it just he gets the ball and like it's there's no problem with like it's not a penalty, but it's certainly dangerous, and he you see the effects of it. He's got a massive gash on his ankle. So yeah, it was just an interesting one. Obviously, Digne wasn't happy. Like he said, he was going off at the bench and the fourth official, and showing them the scar that he had, and hopefully a bit of ice and a bit of time. Maybe if Maatsen plays midweek, he'll be right for the Man City game. But I mean, we're starting to get a bit of competition for places, which is good. We're getting a fit Kamara back. Onana was back. He unfortunately, I think, didn't have the greatest game. He obviously gives the ball away for the corner that results in the goal, where he plays that silly pass at the back to I think it was Matty Cash, and it gets cut out. But he's just coming back. I think it'll take a bit of time for him to get back to full speed. We've also got who else was back in this game that I was noticing? He was back into the team. Bogard came out of the team, who had a really good game against.
Yeah, I was pretty shattered for him.
Yeah, so the competition is there. Pal Torres is back to his best. He had a great game, I thought.
I think it was like a vote. I think it was between Torres, Cash, and Rogers. I think were the three apparently like amongst the highest vote getters. I think Torres was getting one. A few gave three. I saw.
Yeah, he was certainly one of the best for sure. Another one that I wanted to call out as well is Emi Martinez. Makes a couple of really important saves in that second half, and I really enjoyed him, kind of having a bit of banter with the away fans, because when Emi Martinez is doing that, he's back to being himself. Because I think at the start of the season he was in his shell a bit. I think after the wanting to go to Man United and that whole thing, and the way it didn't happen. He probably thought it was going to happen. I think he kind of felt a little bit embarrassed, maybe. He didn't want to come back and be booed by the fans, or he didn't know the reaction he was going to get. But in this game, I felt like, that's the old Emmy back. He's having a go at the opposition fans. He's making saves. He's been a bit more of a character, and that was good to see as well, I think.
I think so, and to be honest, I saw something circulating around Argentina might not actually play him in the next game, if I'm correct. I think they want to mix it up, so that might actually be in Villa's favour all of a sudden. So I know it's always said Argentina first, but maybe they're thinking, look, you're aging a bit, maybe time we start finding some new blood. I just saw before the pod on Facebook, I don't know how credible it is, but I think it was Sky Sports, Villa are looking at extending Rodgers' contract till 2031. So
that would be exciting.
I thought maybe he's not in the right headspace. He's maybe trying to look for a move, but I do wonder in that new contract if there's a certain release clause. I usually see that, right? They extend your contract and then a year later, sometimes you're off, but maybe he wants to stay. I think maybe he could have just started rough and it's just personal frustration and that translates into performance on the pitch.
Well, that's it. And it's going to be a big year for him, obviously. He's part of Thomas Tuchel's plans. He's played pretty much every game, I think, recently for England, and big World Cup coming up at the end of the season. So I know that, if he has a good World Cup and, he could be worth 120 mil like this time next year. So, a lot to play for him. And I'm sure he just wants to be settled, playing good football for his club and, playing well and, hopefully getting Villa maybe a trophy this year would be fantastic. We got Go Ahead Eagles coming up on Thursday night in the Europa League away in Holland. I had a bit of a look at them online, and they're struggling a bit this season. I think they were a bit of a surprise package to get into Europe last year, and it's a good old fashioned sort of club, kind of hardcore supporter base. I don't think it's going to be an easy match by any stretch of the imagination, but one that we could probably make a few changes and still get a positive result. And I think, and if we win that's 6 in a row going into Man City on Sunday. So, all of a sudden we're in a really good space, and we're one of the most informed teams in the league, so it's just funny how football can change so quickly.
And I'd rather our bubble pop early into the season than towards the end. So I hope that we finish really strong now, right? Like Palace normally do this and they really come home hard. So, obviously last season, one extra point or could have been the difference between, Champions League or not. And so many games we can, reflect on and say, we should have won or got more out of it. Like the Forest game, right, where they came back, I think, or they drew. So, Cash Beginner, I'd like to protect the players. What's GAE?
That's Go Ahead Eagles. That's Michael's saying it'd be a typical game where we could find a banana skin there. But, it's possible. You never write it off with Villa. We could, beat Spurs one week, lose to them in midweek, and then beat Man City. It's, we can get anything these days, but I'm confident we can get something out of that game and, hopefully stay at the top of the Europa League table, which is looking interesting. There's some good teams in this tournament, and I'm looking forward to some of these games. But I think it's also a good competition to try out some of our younger players, some of our more fringe players. Maybe give someone like Guessan a game and get him a goal. You know what I mean? Like he could do with a goal, I think. And that's it'll be interesting to see who Emery picks in that game. But what were you thinking for Man City? Because they've got a guy called Erling Haaland who's performing quite well at the moment. He's scored 24 goals in 14 games for club and country this season. And how are we going to stop him? Is it going to be Torres and Konsa, or could you find Mings in there who's had some?
I think Mings. It's funny you say that. Yeah, remember he had a good game against him. Was it last season? Then that one moment Haaland gets the goal at the back post. It's that one slip up by Mings. But then is he going to be rusty? Can he do another Mings? As we foresee sometimes. So could they all play, all three of them? You never know, right? Like if we can frustrate him because we could Haaland. I'm like, well, where else are the goals going to come from? Because I'm not seeing much else apart from Haaland. I feel like he's bailing him out of jail quite a lot.
Yeah, he does seem to be the only one really scoring at the moment. The likes of Foden and Doku and Savinho, these guys aren't really scoring many goals. Doku is a good player and he's been playing well this season, but I think we'll definitely give them some issues as well. I know we beat them last season at Villa Park, and Morgan Rogers had that really good game and was scored a goal where he ran the length of the pitch pretty much and did a little 1-2 with John McGinn. And who's another guy I think we should talk about, because I think he played his 300th game or in the last couple of weeks for Villa. And
that many, I suppose. He's probably
Yeah.
been in the Prem 4 or 5 years now. And remember, he was there. Well, I think he was there before we got relegated, right?
yeah, and
Jesus.
I mean, he just goes under the radar every week. He's an unbelievable player. Just gives everything.
So much energy. So much energy.
Yeah.
And I love seeing him in his advanced position against Scotty. I think that's where he's at.
Sorry,
his best.
it was 250 games, not 300. Yeah,
But was he signed relegation under Brucey? Or was he signed in the Prem? I think he was signed in the championship.
2018. It was 2018 in the championship for sure.
Right. I remember I just started my job.
3.5 mil from Hibbs is just an absolute steal, and he's so important to what we do, and he gets played.
Well. What an honour!
Yeah, he's got 80 caps for Scotland. I'm looking here,
and he comes good in the big games. And when we're struggling as a team in any comp, he lights up. And for me, that's 110% leadership. And again, I think Stephen Gerrard deserves a pat on the back for giving him captaincy.
And you saw it against Bologna. That goal he scores turned our season around, and we haven't looked back since. So it's been amazing. Why don't we get into some predictions for the next two games? Bit of a shorter video this week as Noah's not with us, but get well soon, Noah. But so we got Go Ahead Eagles Thursday night away, and then Man City at home. So give us a couple of score predictions for those two.
Before I give the prediction, I said I would have loved to play Liverpool instead of City at home because I think they're crushed after the United loss. And United played quite well, so credit. I always said Mboma would come good. Guy's class. Go Ahead Eagles away.
We do have Liverpool soon.
It's after City, isn't it? Or is it Bournemouth? I think it's City, Bournemouth, Liverpool, or City, Liverpool, Bournemouth.
It's City, then Liverpool away. So, I mean, and tough games, but I think it's a good time to play them, like you said.
Yeah, and even in fantasy prem, mate, I've dropped all the Liverpool defenders. I gave up on them. Said, bloody hell, it's all Sunderland defense, mate. Clean sheet king. So, all right, we digress. Go Ahead Eagles, I think 3-0. I think we'll win that very comfortably. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a mixture of, seniority, like starters, bench, maybe even a bit of youth. I think there'll be some X Factor subs if we're clearly winning, just for confidence to see it out. And then
I'd like to see that Hemmings maybe get a game.
Yes.
Who played in the preseason.
I would love to see Ben Broggio pushed more into the first team. Guy's got talent, man. So, and I think City will be 2-2. I think 2-2. I think Haaland will score both. But I think we'll be trailing and then coming back. I think it'll be like 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. I really want to give Villa the win, but I'm starting to go with my brain, not my heart now.
That's fair. And I'm going to say Go Ahead Eagles 4-1 Villa, and I'm going to say Man City 3-2 Villa. I'm going to go. I think it could be a couple of goals for Haaland, but we'll get a last-minute goal. And, we beat them 3-2. I remember way back when we had Andy Vyman and, they had Yaya Toure. And, so why not a bit of a repeat of that match back in the Lambert days, I think it was back then. And
in front of the fans. The fans.
Yeah, that's the one. So let us know in the comments, guys, how you're feeling, how you enjoyed those goals, and what a great game it was. And where do you think we'll go in these next few games where we got City and Liverpool and Arsenal, some of the toughest sides. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends about it. Hit the bell, the notification bell. We will let you know when we go live next week. So we will come to you next week after the Go Ahead Eagles and the Man City match. But until then, it's up to Villa, and it's goodbye from me and Tommy. Up the Villa. See yous.
See yous.